On April 26th, the Chicago Composers Orchestra is premiering my new symphonic sketch entitled Sonder Ozurie. The real question is, what the hell do those two words mean? And second off, what does this book have to do with any of that? Let's talk about it. Okay, the book is entitled The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows by John Koenig. Right? Now, he describes the book as a compendium of new words for emotions. Its mission is to shine a light on the fundamental strangeness of being a human being. All the aches, demons, vibes, and joys and urges that are humming in the background of everyday life. And you've probably guessed it by now, the words Sonder and Ozurie come from this book. So you might be wondering, what do these two words mean? So Sonder is the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, worries, routines, and inherited craziness. An epic story that continues invisibly around you like an anthill sprawling deep underground, with elaborate passageways to thousands of other lives that you'll never know existed, in which you might appear only once, as an extra sipping coffee in the background, as a blur of traffic passing by on the highway, as a lighted window at dusk. It's something I've thought about a lot before, this idea that we're all the main character in our own stories. And it resonated so deep within me that I had to write a 16-minute symphonic sketch about it. But then I kept reading. I kept reading because the book is just that good, and it's kind of a goldmine for musical ideas, but more than anything, it's emotional and captivating and resonating. And I had this idea for Sonder, this musical idea, that I'm like, oh, this is going to work great for the piece. But it had a section in it that was quite contrasting. It felt different in a way, but still of the same world. And when I was reading, I came across this word, Ozurie. You see right here, Ozurie, which I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is the piece. It's Sonder and it's Ozurie. So what is Ozurie? What does it mean, right? So the first thing I'll mention is that's Oz, as in the Wizard of Oz, which Koenig uses to define this word here. So Ozurie is feeling torn between the life you want and the life you have. Consider Dorothy, the orphan girl of Kansas, sitting up in her bed at the end of the movie, while the credits roll and the music swells. With the land of Oz still fading from her eyes, she whispers to herself, "There's no place like home." Eventually, of course, she knows she'll have to get out of bed, put on a pair of ordinary black slippers, and carry on with her life on the farm. Counting the chicks, darning the stockings, pushing gray eggs around a cast iron pan. So Koenig goes on to describe her activities on the farm. And yet, even as she makes her way to school the next morning, she now carries with her a certain unshakable awareness that her gray gingham dress is secretly blue, that her charcoal hair is actually a rich auburn, that the sky catches fire when the sun goes down. She'll try to blink the colors out of her eyes, but she'll never be able to forget that there's an entire dimension hidden inside things. I'm skipping ahead here, but to her, Oz is more than a dream. It's a sickness, a feverish desire that infected her mind, making normal life feel intolerable when she had been doing just fine. Where does she go from here? How long will it be before she's gazing over the rainbow once again? How long before she's galloping across the fields like a storm chaser, beckoning her arms to the clouds like a toddler desperate to be picked up? Such is life. Some days you wake up in Kansas, and some days in Oz. Sometimes the world feels pretty much stuck in place, and you've made your peace with that. Why waste time on silly pipe dreams when there are socks to darn and pigs to feed? At other times, you look around and see how exciting the world can be, how flexible and arbitrary things are, how easy it might be to cast aside your old life and get to work building the one you really want. Eventually, you have to decide what to do with this desire. Which will it be? Kansas or Oz? Life as it is, or life as it could be? So Koenig says soon enough life will offer you an answer. And until then, you're like Dorothy, caught in a maddening state of tension, trying to live in two worlds at once. padding around the farmhouse as it spins inside the twister, with rubies shining in her bloodstream, her auburn hair slowly turning gray. Spare a thought for poor Dorothy, the orphan girl of Kansas, who dreams in color but lives in black and white. And the cool thing about working on this piece is I realized the connection between the two words, in that Sonder is much more about the external focus, right? You're thinking about what So Sonder is external, right? It's all outward. It's outside of oneself. We're thinking about others. We're thinking about their stories, their dreams, their ambitions, their friends, their relationships, everything that could mean this whole host of worlds that we don't have access to, right? Because it's other people, and they are the main characters in their own stories. Whereas Ozurie is all about that internal battle, that internal conflict. You have this life that you have now, and then you also have this one that you want. You have your own dreams and ambitions and things you have things you want to chase. And change is hard, right? So it's all about do I pursue it or not? So I thought, how cool would it be to write a piece that reflects on these two almost juxtaposed ideas in a way, this external and internal focus of the two words. And we can get into the musical, nerdy, technical things that I did with the piece probably in another video in the future, maybe even after the premiere, or maybe not at all. Or maybe at the pre-concert talk, I'll see you April 26th. Okay, but I have structured the piece with similar motifs I use throughout, and certain figures that in my mind mean something in regards to the two words. And I have also structured the piece to where we alternate between the two words, back and forth. I have these sections I call figures, which resemble the Sonder kind of cathartic, like, realization of, oh my goodness, there are other people on this world. And it sounds something like this. That's all you're getting. Come to the premiere, please. Okay, so that's that, right? That's Sonder. And then Ozurie is kind of resembled more by these sections I call pulses. The whole thing sort of pulses and churns along, but these sections are more like a slow build, and they grow into these grand emotional, like, and it sounds something like this. So that's that. So that's Sonder, that's Ozurie, and then over time, everything just mixes together, and it just becomes one cohesive, I hope, sonic adventure that's, like I said, deeply cathartic, just super emotional. And there's also those moments that's slightly more lighthearted, but as Koenig says, this is not a book about sadness. At least not in the modern sense of the word. The word sadness originally meant fullness, from the same Latin root, satis, that also gives us sated and satisfaction. Not so long ago, to be sad meant you were filled to the brim with some intensity of experience. And that's such a great word for this piece, and this is everything I hope to capture with it, is that it's just intensity. It's like life hitting you in the face. It sounds sad probably in a lot of areas, but it's not sad in that way. It's just an intense experience. It's being overwhelmed with life and the beauty of it and everything that goes into it. And I'll end with this. And if you are lucky enough to feel sad, well, savor it while it lasts, if only because it means that you care about something in this world enough to let it under your skin. I hope to see each and every one of you April 26th, 7:30 at the St. James Cathedral for the premiere. And not just to see me and to hear my piece or anything like that, to hear the other wonderful composers on the program, Carlos Bandera and Anya Vu, wonderful composers I've had the opportunity of meeting recently, and they've been a joy to talk about this project with, and I can't wait to hear their pieces as well. There will also be student compositions being played, which is super exciting. If you did make it this far in the video, can you drop a fire emoji, a goat, and the little hands that go like this? Those are my favorite emojis to use. anybody who knows me knows that's all I comment. So a goat, you know, it could be either or. How about that? Drop a goat, a fire emoji, the hands or whatever, or just drop a comment and say you're excited you're excited for the concert, even if you're not gonna show up. Just lie to me, you know, just help us. You know what I mean? Just be like, yeah, you just gas it up for us. Yeah. Cool. Love you all. I'm out.